Ja, hej og velkommen til User Group i København. So I'm switching to English now because I've been living actually in Denmark for 4 years, and my Danish is a little bit rusty, so it's 10 years ago. So I don't. But my name is Sven. I'm a happy ambassador working for Atlassian, so my job is to travel around and talk to people and talk to user groups and make presentations on developer conferences, on user groups. So that's me, that's my background, and I'm from Germany. And I heard this all the time, so please afterwards, if we are sitting with a beer, don't tell me that you beat us in football in 1992. That's 20 years ago. So I had to hear it when I was working in Denmark. I had to hear it every day that people say, "Oh yeah," and it was almost there. It was 10 years ago. So I'm from Germany. We have a tight schedule. We have this room until 6 o'clock tonight. So we have 3 presentations. So I will make this really short. If I have no time at the end for Q&A, we can have a beer afterwards, and then discuss things. So I will be around here the whole evening. So first I start for 45 minutes. Atlassian Malays and Grace. I will talk a little bit about JIRA, a little bit about Confluence, and we'll make a little bit stash demo here. Then it's not Thomas, it's actually Jacob who's doing the presentation to the limits of JIRA and beyond for half an hour. And then it's Christian who's doing the best practices, tips for implementation, project management with JIRA and Confluence. So this is actually our schedule, our tight schedule for this afternoon. And as I said, at 6 o'clock we're going to be kicked out of this room. And can you see? Actually, no. You want to, maybe there's some two seats free, so better. So as I said, we're going to be kicked out, so we have to make it really fast. So user groups are a little bit like rock festivals. You have the Roskilde Rock Festival here in Denmark, and I prefer Skanderborg, but that's just me. User groups are a little bit like rock festivals. Why? Because actually it's about the community. I mean, we meet a lot of people at the tent places, at the camping site, and we talk a lot. And this is also what the user group is about. Meeting people, Atlassian users that also uses JIRA, Confluence, or whatever tool we have, and meeting them, locals, and you can talk and make a connection and solve the problems at user groups. This is what a user group is about. But it's of course also about the rockstar presentation, the guy who is on stage and make a presentation. This is also about user groups. Listen to some people who have something to say. And then it's of course also about the sponsors. Rock festivals are sponsored by some people, and also this user group is sponsored by Translucent. And I want to have a small, big applause for Translucent. So normally we do 1,500 kroner for the tab. We're paying the beer at Atlassian, but they just, because we're so many people, they just put it up to 2,500, so they put 1,000 on top, and they are paying also for the venue here. Otherwise you wouldn't have a user group if Translucent wouldn't sponsor it. So that's really great. And then it's of course the organizer, the guy who's just behind the scenes, just rocking up the stage once, saying, "Yay, hey, welcome to the Rock Festival." And this is also true for user groups. The organizer is a very, very special role and very important for user groups. So, and this is the Atlassian user group leads. And actually, we don't have a user group lead for Copenhagen. So we're desperately looking for a user group lead here at this user group, and there's so many people here. So maybe one wants to do it. I mean, the organization, I've done it now, and it's okay. It's a little bit of work to find some speakers, but So if somebody wants to do, but it's also great to stay here in front and tell the people, "Hey, I'm the user group lead," and you can actually have free tickets for a conference in San Francisco for Summit. So there are some benefits also as a user group lead, what you can get. So, and then some insights of Atlassian, what we are doing. So if you want to be a user group lead for Copenhagen, come to me after the show, and we can make connections and see what we can do. But what is also important is not just the user group lead. We are also looking for a place where we can hold the user group. As I said, this one we have to pay money for that one, for that room, and I found out in Copenhagen it's not very cheap to find something, and parking was also not cheap. So actually, this is what we are looking for. Just a nice place. Normally, we're doing this user groups inside companies. They have meeting rooms. You're using our stuff, so maybe you can sponsor a meeting room just for an evening or whatever, for an afternoon, and then we can do it there. This was at Xing in Germany, in Hamburg. There's this LinkedIn platform, and we were doing. They have a special room there for community meetings, so that was perfect. So if you have something like this or just a meeting room, I really appreciate if you can come to me afterwards, and we can do the next. If we can do the next user group there, that would be perfect. And then we can spend more money on beer, and pizza. So that's also nice. Okay, so I start this user group with a small survey just to get to know you and to know you. For example, we didn't know when to hold this user group. We were discussing morning, afternoon, evening. So I just want to make a small survey here. Who wants to do it at 3 p.m.? Who's okay with that time normally for user groups? Yeah, third. What's with 5 p.m.? Is that better? Okay, that's a little bit more. What about later in the evening? 7 p.m.? That's interesting. Okay, cool. So 5 p.m. seems to work pretty well. Products away. Just to get to know you, what kind of audience I have, and that you can see who else is in the room here. Who's using JIRA? It's almost everybody. That's cool. Confluence users? Yeah, it's a little bit less, but still a lot. Some GreenHopper users here. Okay, also like Confluence. Do we have HipChat users? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great. Fisheye, Crucible. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. Bamboo, continuous integration user. Who's using Jenkins? Ah, yeah. Okay. I was expecting that. Do we have Bitbucket users? 2 Bitbucket users. 3. Ooh, cool. Stash. Who doesn't know what Stash is? Okay, I will make a presentation afterwards. Cool. You will learn that. And then there's some other products. Crowd is the Crowd user here. Yeah, also some source tree users. No source tree? 1, 2, 3. Well, okay. Okay, you see we have a lot of products at Atlassian. It takes 5 minutes to just go down the list. Okay, attendee survey. So who's the developer, software developer here? Team lead? And developer? Same. Manager, some other kind of manager, something. Oh, the most. IT administrator, 1, 2. What else are you doing, Ben? What are the other ones? What did I mention? Didn't I mention? Sorry? Free beer, maybe something. Okay. Sorry? Project manager. Project manager. Okay. Cool. Good. Okay. So the latest and greatest. This is the agenda. This is on the agenda. So this is what I want to talk about. And first we talk about JIRA, and you are all of you are using JIRA, so you're pretty aware of that. So these are our latest releases. 5.0 came out last year in February, where we actually. I don't know if you can see that. We removed friction a little bit, so you can filter out some options, some fields. You can filter them out, that you don't see them anymore, that the user don't have to fill them out. So it's a little bit less frictionless what we introduced there. In 5.1, actually that was a really great release because we introduced inline edits, and this makes life a lot easier, that you can just click on a field and edit directly and don't press the edit button. In 5.2 we introduced a new search. So you can. It's very easier now to search in JIRA. Before it was a bit hard, but now it's way easier to search. You can use drop downs, and everybody actually can search in JIRA now. And then we currently released 6.0, and this is what this is about. So last Tuesday we released 6.0, and it's a pretty major release. And the release was about being modern, being fast, being mobile, and being simple. Marketing terms. Wow. So we start with modern. What does that mean? So this is JIRA 5, and we already thought JIRA 5 is looking brilliantly. We cleaned up the interface. We make it really look good. But then we actually introduced JIRA 6 now, and I love this. And it's really it's nicer. It's more condensed. The icons are better, and the typographics are better, and it looks more cleaner. So we ramped up a whole new design. You can see we have a consistent header there, where you have a big create issue button where you can just click on, and then everybody knows where to create issues. So we cleaned up the interface a lot. So we have a modern interface now in JIRA. This came with JIRA 6.0. And thanks to our Atlassian design guidelines, which we launched. So these are our guidelines that all our tools look a little bit the same. That they don't look so differently. And this we launched the first time with Bitbucket in November. Then Confluence was after that in February, and now JIRA has also the same design as the other tools. It's fast. So first, fast means for us, we have looked at forth and back communication to the server. If you have a smaller internet line or a smaller line to your server, it's now faster because we don't make so many calls. This is one thing, but it's also the detailed view in the issue navigator. We introduced the detailed view, and this is pretty awesome. So if you search now, or you search for an issue, you get the list up here. So this is the search results. You get them here, and if you click on them, you can see them directly. So you have directly see the details, and this saves a lot of time. You don't have to click on the issue anymore and then open the edit bar, so you can edit everything inside the detailed view directly. So you don't have to do anything. You just click on this and it's changed. So if you do backlog grooming or whatever, you just can look through it and then change stuff, change the version or whatever. If you prefer the old view, yeah, you can still switch back to the old view. It's a little bit, you have more, you can see more issues with the list view, but with the detailed view you can see more. You can go faster through the issues, and we save a lot of time when we introduce that detailed view in Atlassian. So, and then it's mobile. We have a totally new mobile interface for JIRA. And this is not an app or something. This runs in the browser, so it's HTML5 browser. So you don't have to install an app on your mobile phone. It runs on every device, on Android, on iOS. And yeah, you can do stuff like mention somebody, doing comments, assign an issue, all this stuff you want to do when you're on the road. You can do that now with your mobile phone. So we had some use cases in mind when we are creating this mobile interface. So the first was you get an email notification, you want to do something. So you just want to look at the issue, what's happening. Sometimes you cannot see it from the email. So you just want to look at it, and this is, you can see now everything directly in your mobile phone. Then if you're in a meeting, you have to do something. You cannot go to your desktop and you want to do something. You can just assign somebody. You can do that directly in the meeting. Or if you're on the train, you want to look up, you want to comment on an issue, you can do that now on the train. Or if you have just some important stuff, you just want to say, okay, good, grab some action on this one, and you just can do it directly from your mobile phone, so if something happens immediately. So these were the use cases we had in mind when we did the user interface for JIRA, the new mobile user interface. And then it's more simple. And this is all what we look after when we want to make JIRA better, is also removing friction. Because, yeah, sometimes the interface is a little blurred and people cannot find out what to do, so we want to remove friction. And we did that actually. We guide, if you want to create a project, we guide you through the create project hassle. So you get a wizard, you can say, I want to make an agile Scrum project, so you can do that. So these are the default projects we ship with JIRA. You can also do your own project template with your own workflows that you need behind it. So this is pretty awesome, and it removes a lot of friction. And also the new workflow sharing thing. So you can import and export workflows directly. So if you have a staging environment, people often have a staging environment where they try out a workflow and then where they want to put it in production. So you can easily now export the workflow and import the workflow in your production system. And the cool thing is also these workflows are also on the marketplace. So people are sharing their workflows. And I think all of the workflows that are now on the marketplace are for free right now. So if you want to have an HR workflow, you just look it up at the marketplace and install it in your engine. And then tweak it, of course, because every team is different, every workflow is different for every team. You can just tweak it and use it. Okay, now I have a small video where we can show the things in actions. Just here you can see this is the new header where you can see everything. Also the big create issue button where you just push on it and it creates an issue. Then the application switcher, you can switch between applications. You can also put your own applications in there if it's a web app. And then this is the detailed view where you can just go into the detailed view, and then here you have the search results and you can easily click through them and then edit them directly in your search. This is a mobile interface. You click on an issue. You can see the details. You can add a comment. You can use the mention possibilities there, and then just do it like this. Yeah, and this is the new project template. You can just select a project, select next, and then you can enter some details there. You have a wizard, and your Scrum project is automatically created. So, yeah. And then the workflow, you can add a new workflow or import them from the marketplace, as I said, and you can browse through them and see what fits you, look at them directly, see what they are doing, look at the comments that people have done. Yeah. And then you just can import them directly from the marketplace into your instance. So this is a new JIRA. But I also asked the people that are using GreenHopper with JIRA, and I just want to give a small update on GreenHopper. So it's JIRA Agile. So this is what we introduced in the latest GreenHopper versions. So we introduced epics, and epics are a little more broader view. So more like a theme or whatever you want to call that, where you can have user stories underneath that and then put it into task. So it's a more broader view, and you can see how your epic is doing, how many user stories have been finished, or how many user stories have to be finished. Then you can do sprint planning by simply dragging and drop your issues, and you can see the velocity directly. You can see if you underestimated or overestimated your sprint directly in GreenHopper. This is the planning board, and this is the work board. So we have 3 boards: the planning board, the work board, and the reports. And this is the work board where you can drag and drop the issues. And we recently added the configurable details. That was a big request from our customers, that they want to configure what they can see in the details. So you can do that right now. You can put your own fields in there, whatever you like. That's a pretty awesome feature. And then the report, we added the version report to GreenHopper, where you can see here, we are right now here, and you can see forecast. You cannot see that very good on the screen. There's a small funnel here, so you can see where you will end with 70% of your project, where it will end right now on June 1st. We will have around 70% done. So it's automatically calculating the end of the project. So, this was JIRA. Let's talk about Confluence. And I start again with some history of Confluence. 4.2 in last year, in spring last year, we added layouts. So visual layouts. Before you had to do a macro, a section macro, and inside the section macro, a column macro, and then you can put in your column, your text in that one. So that was really hard. And then we added the visual page layouts where you can just click and then you can see it directly, your layout in Confluence. Then in 4.3 we added Workbox, and Workbox is for small tasks, so you can have your own task and put them in Confluence, or assign tasks to other people, mention them just on a task to get a little ticker, and then you can mention somebody and he gets automatically a task in his workbox. So that's what we added in 4.3. And then 5.0 was all about the new design. We introduced the new design in 5.0 and the new sidebar. So we have a new sidebar, new space sidebar, and we introduced that in 5.0. And then we introduced 5.1, and I want to talk about 5.1 a little bit. So Confluence. What is Confluence? What I use Confluence for? Mostly people using it for as a file directory, meeting notes, blog posts, requirements, marketing plans. You name it. It's it's your scenario. What you use it for. And what does Confluence give you if you want to create something like this? Yeah, it gives you an empty page. And we call that the blank page problem. This is the blank page problem. But on the other hand, it gives you a lot of freedom. You can do a lot of things with Confluence. But customer asks us if we can help them a little bit, guide them a little bit into the direction for creating content. And yeah, our solution for that was templates. So we introduced templates, and it's awesome, it's good. But actually, we wanted to go a step further with templates. And a little bit templates on steroids. And it is a little bit like that. We actually call it Confluence Blueprints. So what is a blueprint? So a blueprint helps you to see what you are creating. So this is the new create button. If you press the create button, you get this screen up, and you can actually pick your new blueprint. So if you click on meeting notes, for example, you want to do meeting notes now, it creates automatically the structure for you. So you have the structure, the page is structured automatically, and also on this you cannot see it, but these are just placeholder texts here, where you just click in and then they disappear. And it's just an explanation what you can do, what you should enter there. And you just, also here you have it automatically adds the add sign. So you mention somebody, so they get automatically a notification if you put the attendee list in it. So he gets automatic notification that he is invited to the meeting, and this is the agenda, and he can jump into it and change the agenda if he wants. And then it's about structure. So if you're creating a new meeting note, we automatically create an entry in your sidebar. It's called meeting notes, and if you click on that, you can see all meeting notes. These are now requirements, but you can see all structured in a structured way. You can sort them after property, whatever you want. So these are blueprints. So I was explaining meeting notes to you. Now I have a video of file list, how a file list works. So you click, like I said, wizard. You can see that. You click on it, and you get a wizard kind of style where you have to put in the title and the description, and it guides you to the create process, through the create process. And you can do restricted users, you can do whatever you want there. You can restrict your file list if you want that. And then you press the create button, and it creates it automatically for you. So it actually puts in the macro here where you can drag and drop files into it. So we need some files now. So grab some files and drag them into here. And then it's adding automatically, like you know. And then I can change some labels on the files, whatever I want to do. Just change it and say this is a man, and I can later filter on the label or see all file lists where man appears, all this stuff. And then press the add button. Should I move a little bit? Oh, cool. And then you have the overview list, as I said, here in the sidebar, and you get an overview of all your file lists. So this is the file list, and of course we also have requirements documents. So these are the 3 blueprints that comes now with Confluence 5.1, and you can create your own structured document if you like. So it's very open. It's very easy to create a blueprint. So you can create your own blueprint, whatever you like. And the cool thing is it's not just on your machine, so you can also find more blueprints on the Atlassian marketplace. So we have more blueprints out there on the Atlassian marketplace where you can also buy blueprints, so there are also commercial blueprints that you can buy. Let's talk about coding. So I'm a developer, and I love to talk about coding. I know there's not so many developers here, but maybe you're interested. Yay! But maybe you're interested in hearing a little bit about this thing. Does anybody know what this sign is? It's Atlassian Stash. And we launched Stash 1 year ago. So it's a pretty new product still, but it's already went very, very far. And yeah, so it's about DVCS. So it's a Git repository management tool for enterprises. So in DVCS, as it says in Wikipedia, blah, 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 keeps track, and it's for distributed teams. So why are we using this in a centralized place because Stash is a centralized system? So why Git is a distributed version control system? So why are we doing that, distributed? Because teams code together. They needed actually a central place where all the code comes together. So if we're working in enterprises, we have a place where the truth lays. And this is where Stash is very, very strong. So I want to talk about 3 topics here. I will run through them: sharing code with others, how we do it with Stash, and why we should do it, why we should share our code with other people. Then how Stash is protecting your code, and how Stash is helping you to apply your your coding workflow into Stash. Okay, but we start with sharing code with others. Why is it important? Okay, the question here is, why do you want to discuss your code changes? Steve is ready to push the button, and Lynn also. Lynn pushes first. I want to learn. And this is a really great answer, because if we're sharing code, if we share our code, we learn from each other. We learn what other people are doing. We learn the whole code base. It's about collective code ownership. This is what it's about. Okay, next one. Who's pressing the button? Julie. We want to get better quality. Yeah, that's great. We can discuss code changes. We can discuss what's good, what's not good, what is a good practice, what is not a good practice. Is the variable name, is that wisely chosen or is it not? Yeah, that's a good answer. Next one. Andy. I feel better. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I was every time, I'm not that brilliant programmer. I'm a good programmer maybe, but not brilliant. But every time people, I put in a code review and people review that and said, yeah, great. I'm not the only one that is responsible now for the code, so the whole team saw the code, so that's good. I feel better, yeah. So Steve, what's your answer? I want to blame people. Wrong answer. This is not what sharing code is about. It's not about blaming. Shouldn't be. Yeah. Okay. So what we actually want to do is discuss the code changes before we merge them. And this is what we can do with pull request. So here's how we work at Atlassian with pull request. As said, we're using Git. This is our main line of production here. And then for every task, we're doing a branch. So we're branching the code for every task. And then before we merge the code back, we ask people, hey, what do you think about my code changes? What do you think? And then they can have a look, and I invite some reviewers, a few people of my team, invite them, and then they can discuss and say, okay, I approve the code change. It's good. It's good enough. It's good. And what I do now is in Stash, I go into Stash and press the merge button, and then I can merge the code back. So this is what I can do with Stash. A cool thing is also I can involve people in conversations. So it's just like, as you know it from JIRA and Confluence, you mention somebody in a comment, in a code comment, and he gets a notification and can jump right into the code. Okay, so demo time. I hope the demo gods are now with me. Just have to go to my machine. You just watch the screen wisely. Okay, but I've also created a video, so if everything goes wrong, I can show you the video. So, yeah, I have to log in. That's good. So this is Stash, and we have our repositories here.
Can you move your arm a little bit?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So we have our repositories here. It's just one in that project. I can browse the source code here in Stash. And then I have installed a plugin that I can edit the code directly in Stash. I hope this works now. Yes. I can just put in something here, and then I can create directly a pull request. So what this plugin is now doing, it's creating automatically a branch and then making a pull request. So this is just org Copenhagen and create the pull request. Title Copenhagen is Great. And then I add my buddy David to the pull request. So I've created now a pull request, and David can log in into his instance. Just make a refresh here. So David gets a notification in his workbox and sees, oh, I get a notification. Copenhagen is great. Yeah, I agree. So now this is a pull request. It's an overview. Nobody has said anything, but I can see the diff here. This is a little bit stupid diff. I've tried that at home and it worked, but okay. Looks good. I think this is a plugin that's creating that. So David has now, and then he can make a comment and approve the code review. And I jump back to my instance, get a notification here, and can see David's comment here. And then I can actually just hit the merge button and delete my branch afterwards because it's done. I don't need that branch anymore. And yeah, this is it. This is very, very simple, very easy code reviews with Stash. Okay, looks like we don't need the video. That's good. So I can jump over this here. So talking about sharing and collaborating on code is great. But it should be easy and fast. We want to move on fast. So this is a simple workflow I just showed you. Create a branch, make a pull request, and merge it back. Very, very simple. And has no roles, actually. So everybody can do that. So this is about protecting a little bit your code, that not everybody can do whatever he wants with your code. I actually hate the word protection. That's why I say you want to make sure of something. So let's assume your graduate makes a branch, makes a pull request, and give a damn of how many people approved it and just merged it back. That's bad. That's what you want to avoid. You want to avoid this here. This is okay. You can make a branch, whatever you want. You can make a pull request. That's also great. But you want to avoid that. You want to just have your great-looking senior developer doing the merge. This is what you want. So what solution do we have? So we have branch permissions in Stash. So you can set up branch permissions on your master branch that just the senior developers are allowed to merge, to write on the master branch. Everybody can read from the master branch and branch from the master branch, but yeah. Okay, next one. So you want to make sure that the right people can merge code into the right branches. Next one, review roles. Maybe you want to have a special amount of reviewers to approve your code review. Not just one is not enough. You want to have 2 or 3 people that reviewed it and approved it. So you can do that with Stash. You can set up a minimum approval for pull request, and then you're allowed just then to merge back. Okay, you want to make sure that somebody reviewed your code. And then it's also build rules. You want to make sure that the build is good on your branch, that it's green, that it's not red. This is bad if you merge a red build into your master branch. You should not do that. But you can just hook up Jenkins or Bamboo with Stash, and then you can see if the build is green, and then Stash allows you to merge it back just when the build is green. So make sure that the build stays green after merge. That's very important. And then you have also some project permissions. And I heard this from some customers that this is a really killer feature because you can set up people in groups and just apply groups to projects. It's very, very easy, very fast. You can just, if you have your consultant and he is not allowed to see all of your code, you can just add him to a special group and just show him the projects he needs to do. He needs to see to get his work done. So this is making sure that the right people have access to the code they need. But I must say, it's always a trade-off if you do such rules in your workflow. If you want to have the rules, you pull the needle a little bit to security, but you lose dev speed. You have to wait until 3 people or 4 people have approved your pull request. So that's a trade-off. You have to wait. What's more important? Okay, and then the last thing on protection of your code is the repo guard. Who knows what the repo guard is? The repo guard are your IT administrators. So in some organizations, it's like that. If you want to create a new repository, you go to your IT administrator, because you don't have rights on the server where you Git repository lies on. Say, oh, can I have a repository, please? And then this guy says, yay, well, I would do it in 3 days, but that's not good. I mean, you're a developer, you want to have your new Git repository immediately. So we have a solution for that in Stash, and this is just one button where you can just press and create a repository, so you don't need your IT administrators anymore. So you can do it yourself in Stash. Okay, make sure that the development moves fast. And the last thing I want to talk about is it's your coding workflow. Every workflow is actually different. So actually Stash interacts with a lot of tools, for example with JIRA, where you can see the code, or on the other hand in Stash you can see the issues if you put them into the commit message, the issue key. You can see the issues directly in Stash. So yeah, we're Atlassian, so we have a tight integration into that. With Bamboo, you can see the builds on your branch, and also with Jenkins, you can also see the builds, the succeeded or not succeeded builds directly in Stash. Yeah, so this is a tight integration. So this is your working workflow. But teams are different, and so are their workflows. So some people always need more features, and we have a lot of feature requests for Stash. Can you do this? Can you do this? More restriction here, less restriction here. So people always want more. So what we can do is now we can 1,000 new features into Stash. We can do that, but actually we decided just to build 2 features into Stash. And the first one you already know, if you use Atlassian tools, is an open add-on API, so you can create your own add-ons. This edit add-on I just showed you, where you can edit code, that's an extension for Stash. So I just downloaded it, and it's an extension for Stash. And there are already a lot of extensions out on the marketplace. So this is feature number 1. Feature number 2, what you can do to put in your own workflow is this. Who knows who this person is? Yes, right, Captain Hook. And yeah, you can write hooks in Stash. So you can hook into Git and have pre-condition or post-conditions, set them up, and let Stash do something. And for example, we have a protect unmerged branch hook, so you cannot delete a branch until it's merged. That's a hook. So every time people wants to delete a branch, the hook kicks in and sees if it's already merged. Unapproved reviewer hook. If some reviewer have already approved your code, and then you change the code because some people want to change the code, this hook sets automatically every reviewer to unapproved. Or a HipChat hook, where you can hook into HipChat and see all pull requests in HipChat. Yeah, so these things, you can write it or you can download it directly from the marketplace. They're already, these hooks I just mentioned, they are from Atlassian, so you can download them directly into Stash, and they're just usable like this. So you can create your own add-ons, hooks, or download them from the marketplace. That's it. Thank you for your attention. And I haven't uploaded the slides yet, so I will do that later, today or tomorrow. So you can download them from svenpet.com. That's my weblog /slides. Thank you very much. And if you have questions, we can answer them now.